Alright, hey guys, welcome to another rewind. I don't know how many people are
Whoop,
here yet, but
everybody's
everybody's here.
here,
The
bro.
whole oceanic ecosystem is here, um, and the whole political ecosystem is here. I'm joined by Michael Hingers
Hey,
Hing.
mate.
Yeah, hey Michael. Well, that feels weird. I don't think I've ever called you Michael in my
Nah,
life.
dude, it's
Ever.
weird. It's
Yeah,
weird,
that is
bro.
really weird. For those of you that don't know who Hingers is a comedian, a former political figure, maybe still, oh, you're still a political figure.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, I'm an aspiring political
you're
figure.
you're a high APM, high IQ League of Legends player,
Oh, thank you
and
very much.
you were like an OPL host, and you did TV shows, and apparently you were responsible for the crashing of a TV series. But nevertheless, I'm
Yeah,
joined by
dude.
Hingers. Yeah, so how's your day, Hingers? What'd you get up to?
Oh, man. Hey, everyone. Are there people in chat yet? I should say hello to them as well.
Yeah,
Um,
J Dude hit us with the yeet.
yee. Hey, dudes. Yeah, I had a pretty good day, a pretty chill day. I actually, you know, a thing I got to do this morning that I've never done before. I got to do breakfast radio with Today FM, which is like the big commercial radio
Uh
station.
huh.
I went and did that as like a guest on. I was a guest on their show that they're pre-recording that. And this is so stupid, but one of the guys who hosts it
Yep.
is a guy called Ed Cavalier, and I'm a really big fan of his comedy. Anyway, so I got to do that today. That was really cool. But then one of the other hosts is Grant Denyer, which I was like, what? This is so weird. He used to host like Family Feud. That guy,
Yes.
he's now doing
Yep.
breakfast radio. Anyway, that was cool. So that was my day.
Sounds like a good day.
Mm.
I had a
What have you been up to, dude? What have
yeah.
you been
Look,
doing?
I was in the office doing some work for Gravitas, the esports team. Um,
I'm aware of them.
yep.
I've heard of them.
Yep. Um, and I had two almond lattes today. I've really
What's an
gotten in.
almond? Is that an almond milk latte?
Yes, and it tastes like almond with the hint of latte.
Yeah, dude. I never expected you to be like an almond milk
No,
guy. Because
what?
I would expect me to be an almond
Yeah,
milk guy, but
you're a
like
soy milk guy for sure.
real soy boy. But
Yeah.
you're. I would have thought that you're like a I don't know, you drink nothing but ouzo or something. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
I
straight up
do.
European liquor.
I actually do. Like, so usually I do just drink long blacks at home, but like the size of my
Yeah.
head, long blacks. And but I feel like once I get into like the city, inner city, Richmond, like Fitzroy and all that, there's like something in the air there. It hits you, and everyone turns a little bit hippie.
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
get you, man. I
Mm.
get you.
It's in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
water
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone's asking if I'm going to be on Split 2 of the OPL.
Yep.
Look, J dude, I mean, it's
Are we
given.
getting leaks?
No, I'm
Ah.
just saying, given what happened the last time I was on the OPL show, I may not be invited back. I mean, I'm not saying it won't happen, but let's not hold our breaths.
If we
For
hold our
impressive
breaths,
for that.
we may die.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, look, to be clear, not that there's any ill will. I would love it. I think a lot of people at the OPL still like me, hopefully. But it was a pretty weird show, and
If
I
you
can't
could,
imagine they would
if
they
you
would want
could,
me back.
if you could kind of, if it's really bad, which I don't know if it
Mm.
was, what happened? Because I wasn't watching, I was
No,
playing.
no, it was. Oh yeah, it was pretty. It was just loose. We
Ah,
just
yeah.
talk. I mean, I know the show's really loose now, but I think it was. I think this was a particularly loose OPL stream. The one day I did in season
Ah,
in split one.
yes.
And there was a lot of people. It always splits the chat. You know what I mean? So sometimes the chat's like, yeah, let's do this. This rules, and then other times the chat's like, dude, why are they just talking about bees for 40 minutes? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. And I
And
feel
that's
like
fair. Like,
I think what we need is combat. We need a combat between Hingers and Nick Boy, and then the winner is the OPL host. What is it? Trial by fire.
Look, hey man, I love the OPL. I love Nick Boy, and I do not want that job.
I was gonna say that could be one of the new policies, trial by fire. Um,
Yeah, dude.
Professional backdrop from Hingers. Yeah, we did establish that.
Hey, yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
This is my actual room that I live in. I didn't clean up
This is
for
the
this.
this is comedian hangout. That's what it is.
Yeah, man. There comes a point in your life where you've just I don't know if you can see. There's a behind me in that corner there.
Uh-huh.
You can see
Uh-huh.
that there's sort of a door. You can kind of see a door. I don't know if you can see it. It's a sliding door. It looks like there's blinds there, like they're
Yeah.
like security blinds,
Yeah.
and that leads out to my balcony, and that's where I spend most of my time.
Oh, awesome.
So the balcony, that's pristine.
Yeah.
This
That's
looks
that's a
garbage.
that's a prime bit of real estate out there.
Yeah, dude, I love the balcony.
All right. I feel like we had a good warm up. My vocal cords are ready. Um, so I'm just gonna go straight into it. A little bit serious
Yeah,
here.
dude.
How did your Senate run start? Because people
um,
here I know, but people here may not know.
yeah. So here's I guess if people don't know, I tried to run for the Senate for this election. If you're in Australia, there's an election happening on Saturday, and I thought it'd be funny to try and run for the Senate in Australia. So there's a bit of context for that. In Australia, we have two houses of parliament. There's the lower house, which is your local member, that's the local area you live, and then
Hmm.
the Senate is each state elects, I think it's like 12 or whatever senators to this thing called the Senate, right? But trying to find 12 people in a state to be politicians who aren't fuckwits is actually kind of like it's legit quite difficult, right? Like for real, especially like you look at all the different senators. There's that guy Fraser Anning who like had all that heinous shit he said after
Yeah.
the shooting in the mosque in Christchurch. He was like, "Oh, they deserved it because they're Muslim or whatever." And it's like that's crook, dude. You can't, And there's like
He got
like
slapped
people
with an
calling,
egg.
yeah, the
Yeah.
guy who got egged,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that dude. There's a bunch of senators who like there was a senator from Victoria, I think, called Ricky Muir. He got elected with less than 1% of the vote, right? So it's just the way the electoral maths works. Like sometimes the way the cookie crumbles, just randoms can get elected,
Hmm.
right? And I thought it would be pretty funny to try and run for the Senate. Now, separate to that, probably a month before the election, there was this scandal. There's a far right wing kind of racist party in Australia called the One Nation Party. It's Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party,
Yep.
right? And back in the 90s when I was a kid growing up, she used to be on TV all the time talking about how Asians are the devil and they're trying to swamp us
Yes.
and all
Yes.
that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I always felt like I was personally attacked by her, right?
But
In
also,
some
you're
way.
just sorry on that. I figured out.
Yeah.
Well, we
Mm.
concluded one day that you're probably.
Mm.
I think you're more Australian than I am.
Oh, potential. I don't know. So,
Yeah, because
when did your family come come
my
to Australia?
grandparents.
Yeah, so it's like my great great grandparents came to Australia,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
But
I remember you were living in
yeah,
like a country town, like
yeah.
generations living within Australia.
Oh, for real. Like my family's from like Walgett, which is like this backwater. Well, it's a pretty small town in northwestern New South Wales, right?
Yeah.
That's where my mum's family's from. And my dad's family's from like it's from Thursday Island, which is like far north Queensland. Anyway, so a couple of months ago, there was this like secret recordings that were released of these two One Nation staffers who went across to the states and were asking the NRA, which is like the gun rights people
Uh,
in America,
yeah.
they were asking them for like millions of dollars worth of money. The implication being that they would then come back to Australia with that millions of dollars and then use that money to like fund advertising that would try and loosen Australia's gun laws, right?
Oh.
Which is pretty hectic stuff.
Yeah.
It was an investigation by the ABC and Al Jazeera, and when that leaked, that was kind of a really big blow to One Nation, right? Because they've been positioning themselves as sort of like the People's Party, and in Australia, I don't know what Americans think about gun laws and stuff or whatever, but if in Australia, we're pretty proud of our gun laws. I think
Yeah.
it's really hard to get a gun. No, like very, very, very few people get shot. You certainly don't have the shootings you have like you have in America, right? So anyway, I thought it'd be funny to make a parody political party of One Nation, called the One Asian Party, because it's just a stupid pun and whatever, right? Like it's one nation, one Asian. It could be confusing, whatever. That's like a funny joke.
Yep.
And so we thought of doing that, and then we realized the election's coming up, and we're like, fuck, maybe we'll just make a little video pretending I've actually started the party, and that'll be like a stupid joke. And I make lots of little videos, and they like sometimes they get carried, sometimes they don't. It's like whatever.
Yep.
You just make a new one every week. It just keeps going. So we released this video, and it's me just saying like I want to run for the Senate, and I've started my own political party. It's called the One Asian Party. And we put it up on a random Thursday. And what we didn't prepare for was that 40 minutes later, the Prime Minister called the actual election. And so all the journalists that
So
day
it's
who
the
were
right
reporting on the
timing.
fact. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Just randomly. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't on purpose, just random. So all the journalists who were like writing stuff being like, oh, the election's been called today, a lot of them put down the end of their articles like things like, oh, by the way, this funny thing happened, this comedian's running for the Senate. And so it got picked up by like, all these different news outlets, and then it kind of snowballed from there. So that was kind of how the Senate run came about. It's pretty wild
Bro,
actually.
it's actually wild timing. I didn't realize the timing was what nailed it. Really, like
Yeah,
yeah, because it could have been like a year later, right? And then it's like, oh well, I'm done and
yeah.
dusted with the meme kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Like, yeah, but we thought actually they were going to call it probably the week after that or something.
yeah.
But they called it like literally it was like 40 minutes after we posted the video, and then it just blew up. So like then I started getting invited on like TV shows to talk about it and
The
stuff.
project was
Like,
a big one for
yeah,
you, right?
yeah, did the
Yeah.
project, yeah, because I thought it'd be funny if towards the end of the campaign I badgered them enough that they'd let me do it. But it was literally the next day they called me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come and talk about this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." I got to go on Insiders, which is like it's like that's the adult show, like that's like the grown up political talk show on the ABC on Sunday mornings.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like 800,000 people watch
No,
it. It's
yeah.
like it's huge, right? So I got
My
to go
my
on that.
grandfather was talking about that actually on the weekend. He actually watches
Yeah,
it.
right.
He's an avid viewer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's all great. It's all old people who watch it, right? But it's like
ABC.
that's like the show, right?
Yeah.
If you want to do so, like, and then yeah, I was doing a bunch of radio interviews and stuff. Um, yeah, and I guess, and then the whole time though, it was just this weird community of like randoms on the internet who thought it was funny and who came along. Like we held like a what I thought was going to be like a fun joke of a political rally. You see those like Trump rallies and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's like 10,000 people in a stadium, whatever. I just held like a joke one of those in Redfern, like near in this theater I work at sometimes. And I thought it'd be funny. I thought maybe like 10 people would turn. It was like 500 people. It was like why? Like
That's actually insane.
yeah, it was crazy, dude. It was crazy. Like I did not expect any of this, and it was just yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Did you at a certain point though, like getting invited to the TV shows, having to talk about? I mean, you're known for like not having policies, so I guess it
Yeah,
was
I guess
very
that was the whole
loose.
thing.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
loose. But were you ever at one point getting invited on these shows nervous? Were you like, oh wait, am I out of my depth here, or did you just think like, you know what, it's been done by donkeys before, I'm okay?
um. So like, I guess the thing I'd say about that is that like because I do comedy, I always had that in my back pocket.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like, so the context of the run was that I was like, hey, I'm an idiot. I don't have any policies. I don't know what I'm doing, but like, I just think it'd be funny for me to be a senator, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think I probably did like, I think over the last month, I've probably done about 30 interviews. And I think towards the end, I started like fleshing out the things I actually care about. But it took me a while to really think about what things I actually was passionate about and what things I wanted to change and do and things. But yeah, I guess I was never really nervous about that. I was much more nervous about like, because the expectation is that I'm a fucking moron, right? The expectation is like, oh, this is some fucking stoner idiot. He's not going to know anything.
This is a hippie.
So yeah, exactly, right. So it's like I didn't expect, I didn't feel a lot of pressure to be like super smart about like politics, but I did feel a lot of pressure to be like funny when I did interviews
Yeah.
because people would be like, "Oh, he's a comedian, he's running for the Senate, blah blah blah," and then so you got to like that was the thing I was more nervous about. Is
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I can say I have been to your comedy show in Melbourne, and I can confirm you are funny sometimes.
Thank you, Jeeves. Thank you, Jeeves. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Of that show you saw, it was all right.
Was
It was
it
probably a 7 out of 10 show in my opinion.
7 out of 10? Hey, I'll come to the next 10 out of 10 show then. You know, it's only upwards from here.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Just a quick one from Fedora the Explorer,
Yeah.
who's got a really cool name. Will you ever sell One Asian t-shirts?
Yeah, dude. They're being sold right now. They're on Redbubble. They're on
okay.
Redbubble right
Do you wanna
now.
type-
If
do you
you
wanna
want
type the
to,
link
if you want to,
in the
yeah,
chat?
I'll drop the link in the
Yeah.
chat. If you want to buy them. Oh, I think I'm logged into someone else though. Am I? Oh no, that's cool. No, I'm logged
that's
into
you?
me. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an internet troll. You're a Twitch chat troll on an alternate account.
No, I've got an account for my Dungeons and Dragons because we do some Twitch
Yeah.
streaming on my Dungeons and Dragons show.
You're on ScoMo's Twitch channel, being like, "What are you doing, mate? This is my policies."
So if I gotta follow Gravitas Oster chat. Sorry,
Oh,
dude, I didn't
sorry.
follow you.
Oh,
Sorry, dude.
do you want to DM me on Twitter and I'll put it in chat?
Yeah. I'll put it in Discord. There you go.
Yeah. My mum also wants one.
Yeah, no, so just so you know, those t-shirts, right? You can buy them off Redbubble.
Yep.
We make, I think, like, I don't make much. I make like $2 or $3 out of every t-shirt. Like, it's not much. So that money is going to go to charity.
Oh.
It'll either go to the Royal Flying Doctor. I'll probably split it. I'm going to do this on the day after the election. So Sunday it'll be.
Mhm.
It'll half it'll go to the Royal Flying Doctors and half it'll go to AIM, a charity that does like Indigenous mentoring and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to buy a shirt, that's where you can get them from.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna put it in chat. I'm not
yeah,
being
sick.
rude. I am on my phone, but I am actually trying to because if I go to Discord on my computer, it will make your cam smaller, and I don't want to
Yeah,
do that
totally. That's fine.
because
That's fine. So
your hands big.
yeah, so we've sold almost 200 shirts at this point. So anyway, if anyone else wants one, yeah, that link will be in the
Yep, I put
chat
it in
now.
chat. Yep, there you
Sick.
go. Buy one now.
Sick.
Not even an option. It's just buy one. If you're here, you have. It is mandatory that you buy one, and you can't leave until you do.
Yeah, dude, it's a charity. What are you? You don't want charity? You don't want
Yeah,
charity
come
money?
on. Like
Come on, dude.
we're actually judging you right
Royal
now.
Flying Doctors, dudes. Come on.
Yep.
Get in there, boys.
Hey, Royal Commissioning to puppies. Come on. So I guess there's an elephant in the back corner of your room right now that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's just there. So I thought,
What is it? What are we talking about?
why are you not allowed to run for Senate anymore?
Oh, okay.
That is the elephant in the room, by the way. That was like a joke. I'm trying to be a comedian, but it's not actually my job.
I thought you were like looking at something. And I was like, oh no, have I left like a bong out or something? I don't know. It looks like an elephant. I don't know. So there's a couple of things. So the first thing is there were just so many complaints.
Really?
Like, oh man, I was getting like if you just oh man, I can't really do it, but like because like between like Twitter and my email, like my publicly available email, not my real email,
Yeah.
but like the public one that I check sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and Facebook and stuff, I was probably getting like I don't know, like 5 or 6 people. Like at the height of it, I was probably getting like 20 or 30 people, but towards the end, it was like 5 or 6 people complaining to me that I wasn't allowed to do this, and it was bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things. The accusation, which I personally refute, but the accusation is that there's a bit of the Constitution called Section 44, and in Section 44, it kind of lays out the eligibility of people to be a senator, right?
Okay.
Or to be a member of parliament. And there's a couple of things in there. You can never have been bankrupt.
Mhm.
You
Wow.
can't be you can't be treasonous. So you can't be like someone who's like been a spy for a foreign country or something.
Yeah.
And the other things, and one of the things is you can't have dual citizenship. So you can't be an Australian citizen and also like for me to be, I guess, to be a Chinese citizen or something or whatever. I don't know, whatever. You can't do that.
Okay. Yep.
And the other one is they say you cannot what they describe as hold an office of profit under the crown, which basically people interpret as meaning you can't work for the government, right? And because I work for SBS, which is a public broadcaster, the accusation is that I then can't run for the Senate, right? Now, I've got to be careful how I talk about this. Well, just because I don't want to mislead anyone.
Yeah.
Right? But when we spoke to lawyers about this, they said that the way the way the legislation's written, office of profit, which is what like the office of profit under the crown, the office in there means it's like it's not just a job. An office has to be like an office has to exist. What they say is independent of the person who fills it, right?
Yep.
So like there's always a prime minister of Australia. Like there's always that's an office. There's always a treasurer, so that's an office. There's always an attorney general kind of thing. That's an office. So there's always going to be like the head of the police. Like there's always going to be a police commissioner. There's always going to be whatever, blah blah blah. You know, so there's not always going to be, or there's not like if I quit my job at SBS, it's not like they have to go and find another comedian, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
so the lawyers we spoke to were like, you're probably fine on that, right? So I think that was what most of the complaints were that. Like there was like probably I don't know, probably like a couple of hundred complaints. There were people were like, oh, you work at SBS, you're not allowed to be a senator, you can't run. And I feel like if I went to court over that, I reckon maybe we could have argued it and maybe we could have won. I think.
But not
the
worth
bigger
it.
problem. Yeah, well, here's the other thing. The bigger problem, and this is something which was our fuck up. We didn't think this was going to blow up, right? So we didn't think I had a legit chance at this,
Yes.
right? But as soon as we dropped the video and it started blowing up, we were like, fuck, maybe this could actually happen, right?
Yep.
Like between preference deals and like those kind of social media blowing up, like maybe this was a chance. But the problem was, the first video I made, I got them to play it on SBS. on a show called The Feed on SBS 5, which is like how I.
Well, that's
This
where
is my
most of your
job, right?
videos go, right? Like you
Yeah,
are
that's
on.
why most
Yeah.
of the stuff goes.
Yeah.
Most of this stuff, a lot. Oh, sorry, not most, but a lot of this stuff that we've done for the campaign hasn't gone on there
Yeah.
because we were trying to keep it separate a little bit.
Mhm.
But the first one definitely went out.
Yep.
And so that kind of felt like SBS was just playing and endorsing a political video and a political candidate,
Whilst
which
being
as a,
government.
yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah.
is like it's a government broadcaster. Like you shouldn't do that. So that was kind of a fuck up, right? And there was a couple of complaints about that, and that one is kind of indefensible. That one's kind of like, yeah, that was stupid. Like I shouldn't have done that. But
Well, but you again, your intention wasn't to run.
no, exactly. The
Yeah.
intention was it was just to be when we played those videos, it was just meant to be a joke,
Yeah.
and then it kind of blew up. And so, but I can kind of understand why people were a bit like it's unfair. You know what I mean? Because there's like other people who actually want to be senators, and they don't have like a TV show where they can just do whatever they want on
Yeah.
it, right?
But
So
you
it's
did
like,
say, I do remember hearing one quote from you, I think it was on the project. You did
Mm.
say, if a comedian who didn't actually want to run for Senate
yeah,
can beat you in going for Senate, then you probably don't deserve a seat
yeah, exactly
in the Senate.
right.
Yeah.
Like if I beat you, you're probably really bad at your job, frankly. Like I'm an idiot. Anyway, so that was kind of why I'm not allowed to run.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, I think if I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to do it again.
Mhm.
Like it was pretty stressful, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if I ever did do it again, like it would be like I would know exactly how to do it this time.
But like, so then, is there a cooling off period before you can run again, or would you just have to not be working at SBS?
So next time I wouldn't even have to not work at SBS. What I would do is just to clear everything up.
Yeah.
I would quit my job at SBS and then work for a production company or something that SBS outsources my work labor to, or whatever that thing is. Like I would, it'd be like I'd you know how they have those like shell companies in the Cayman Islands
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'd just, like I'd work for a company that SBS employs or something. It wouldn't be like direct like it is now.
You've also got Pyro's vote apparently. So there's that.
Yeah, there's a pirate party. Did you know that? There's a pirate party running in the Senate.
It's
in
not a
Australia right now.
pyrotechnics party, is it?
No, it's like oh pirate. Oh, I've already got pirate.
Pyro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Pyro.
Pyro. Yeah.
Hey, dude. Is he? Are you still in Australia, Pyro?
I believe he's in Germany.
Or have you gone back to Berlin?
Yeah. So while we wait for Pyro's 10-second delayed
Answer.
response,
Yeah.
have you learned? Is there anything that you've learned from this process, or not? No, I guess you've learned stuff from the process in terms of how to run from politics, but on like a wider scale. Like, are you more aware now of like, I don't know, some things that need to be done in Australia, or do you have a different stance on things? What's
Yeah,
the go?
man. Yeah, there's a couple of things that really opened my eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take off my glasses because they're reflecting in the thing, and
Yeah,
it's
that's alright.
annoying. There's a couple things that really opened my eyes to this, right?
Mm.
The first is what they call preference deals. So you know when you go to vote, how you get those how to vote cards,
Yep.
and then you might want to vote for the Labor Party or the Liberal Party or the Greens or whoever, and you go, oh, I'll take that card, and then you just fill out your paper the way that the paper tells you to.
Yes,
You just
yes.
copy the thing.
Yep.
So it makes sense to do that for like the
If-
lower house because there's only like 8 candidates or whatever. It's like in your local area. But for the Senate, there's like hundreds and hundreds of candidates, right? Like that's why there's the ballot sheet of the Senate. It's like the big one you've got to unfold, right? So they did some polling about this, and over 50% of people don't actually understand. Like more than half of people don't understand how to actually vote on the Senate ballot paper. They just don't understand. They don't understand how the numbers work. They don't understand the difference between above the line and below the line. It's a confusing ballot paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do is they just grab these how to vote cards and just copy them down. But they don't actually know what it means or what they're doing. They don't actually understand what they're doing. And so those how to vote cards actually are the things that kind of win and lose elections, really. Like, do you know what I mean?
So are you saying? I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, so quickly
No.
deny it. Are you
Yeah.
saying that how to vote sometimes, without indirectly, has an agenda?
Oh, 100%, dude.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, right? So not for the big parties,
Uh-huh,
right? So
yeah.
like everyone knows the Liberal Party, everyone knows the Labor Party. They're the two main parties in Australia, right?
Yep.
And they're always going to get like, let's say like something like between 70 and 80% of the vote in the Senate, something like that, right? Whatever it is. Then but they're probably only going to have. So this time round in the Senate, I think we're electing 38 senators, something like that, right?
Mhm.
They're only going to win like 30 of them, 32 of them. The other 6 to 8 senators that get elected
Yep.
are going to be from like minor parties, which is things like the Greens, Fraser Anning, One Nation, the Shooters and Fishers Party, Animal Justice, like those kinds of parties, like
Yep.
Clive Palmer, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's rare that people in Australia are going to put those minor parties number one. They're going to put those minor parties like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like wherever they want them to go.
Yeah.
And the way they decide which way they put the number next to that is from the how to vote cards. So it's the how to vote card. Like, and it's like people don't even know what Clive Palmer. They're like, who the fuck's Clive Palmer? I don't know. Who's Pauline Hanson? I don't know. Like they might know, but they don't really know what their policies are and stuff.
Yeah.
They just mark them that way because that's what the how to vote card is telling them to do. And I'm saying this to you now. The polling done is like more than half the people voting don't understand the ballot paper. Like
Yeah.
that's people as people. Like that's more than half. Like in a democracy, right?
Yeah.
Where everyone's literate. Like what's the literacy rate in Australia? Is like 98% or something. Everyone can read. Everyone kind of understands they have to vote, but they don't know what they're doing. Like half the people don't understand, right? And
Yeah.
so they just follow the card. So it's like these how to vote cards are like, yeah, that's winning and losing those minor party seats, those like 6 to 8 Senate seats. And when you kind of wrap up like in the Senate, because Liberal and Labor like, are so close all the time, those minor parties hold what they call the balance of power, right?
Yeah.
So they're the ones like that. That's
They're
who makes
skewing the
decisions
votes.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so that's a big thing for me. The other big thing is the money. So in Australia, you have to declare when you get a donation, you have to declare anything you get more than $13,800, right?
In one sum or total?
In one sum,
Yeah, okay.
right? So, but if I want to give you $50,000 or $100,000 or something, I can give you $13,799, and you don't have to declare it. And then I'll give some money to my girlfriend to give you, to my son or my dad or my mum, and then I just get all of them to give you that much.
Mm.
And then you still get $100,000 from me, but because it's funneled through these different people, you don't have to declare it, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty sus. On top of that, there are like foreign companies who want to donate to Australian politicians
I've heard about
in order
that.
to like,
yeah.
in order to do like, for example, to affect foreign policy or allow development deals in like, for building apartment blocks or whatever the thing is.
Yep.
And they can't directly donate to people because they're foreign companies, so they just start an Australian arm of their company and load it up with money, and then that does the donations, which then don't have to be declared. Like, it's stuff like that is going on all the time, right?
That's so
and
shady.
That's just the official stuff that goes through banks. On top of that, you got people literally taking like brown paper bags full of money, which no one ever knows about. Like, no one ever sees it, hears it. It's just like, oh yeah, and then the next day, some guy will come out and be like, oh yeah, I support like tobacco legislation, or I support gun rights, or whatever the thing is, and no one knows because it's just like secret money, right? But the reason these politicians have to take that money is because they need to buy advertising in order to get elected, because that you can't just like get elected without money is the theory, right? You need money to pay for advertising, you know?
There's actually people in America. There's a lady in America. I'm not too familiar with her name. I think I don't want to butcher her name and I forgot. But she's she's crowdfunded, which is like you can donate like $1, $1,000, but she never accepts a donation from any company.
From like big corporations.
Yeah, big corporation, nothing like that.
I think the person you're talking about is Elizabeth Warren, I think. Or is it Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? I don't know. It's one of those, maybe?
She was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Her name is...
oh, right. Anyway.
Tulsi or something.
Oh, Tulsi Gabbard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about her policies. I'm not suggesting that she's like a good person or anything, but I'm saying I know that's how she gets her money.
Yeah. So, the other thing is, to be honest, I don't know a lot about her either. But I guess like the other thing is like when that's just she says that she's only going to take the money from small donors, right?
Yeah.
But there's no way to prove that, right? Because even if you look at her bank records, maybe she took a fucking bag of money from. Like, I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying there's no way to prove it, right? So this guy I was talking to was saying literally the only way to stop this kind of shit happening would be to like publicly fund elections, where it's like the government gives every politician, where the government gives everyone, $100 or whatever, and then they get to distribute that money to the people they want, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, instead of like a global economy that people have suggested, you just have like you just have global government economy.
Yeah, that kind of thing, you know, and like who knows if that's? I mean, that'll probably come with his own problems and stuff. But
Yeah.
that's a big thing I learned about politics.
Yeah.
And then the I guess the other third thing I would kind of touch on
Yep.
is that there's a lot of people out there who are really hurting, and that's stuff I never would have come into contact with just doing comedy. Really, like you kind of hear little bits and stuff,
Mhm.
but not you don't really get the scale of it. So like as soon as I declared that I was like wanting to be a senator,
Yep.
I started getting like dozens and dozens of emails from people who just wanted my help, who were like saying things like, "Oh, my husband is sick with cancer and he needs this treatment, but we can't afford it," or like, "My partner is stuck in Thailand and she can't get to Australia because she doesn't have the right visa," or like, just all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not even a senator. I'm just a dude who's an idiot who's on TV who thought this would be funny, and you're so like
Invested, kind of.
desperate,
Yeah.
and you're asking me for help, and I'm a moron, right? Like you know, I can't help like, and that made me feel real sad because it's like I guess I hadn't realized how much. I mean, you kind of in the back of your mind know that people are going through bad times, but then when it starts coming into your inbox and in your DMs and stuff all the
Yeah.
time, you're like, oh man, like life's really hard for a lot of people,
Uh-huh.
and it opened my eyes to like it made me angry. That's like I'm a moron and I'm as a joke running, and
Mm.
people are like reaching out to me for help.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine I'm the first person they've called,
Oh, you would
right?
imagine that they're emailing all the politicians, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm getting the email now, why like presumably you've already emailed like Scott Morrison and Bill Shorten and everyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And why haven't we done anything to help these people? You know, and I guess there's obviously reasons like maybe we don't fund homeless support stuff because of the economy, or maybe well, you know, like I get it. I get there's adult reasons why these things don't happen.
Mhm.
But it's like for me, reading all that stuff, I was like, fuck. It like crushed me
Yeah, it's a load.
knowing
It's
how
a load
powerless.
on your shoulders, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and knowing how powerless I was to do anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
And like you try and help people out where you can, but it's like I don't I don't run the government. Like I
Yeah.
can't actually, you know, I can't fix it, you know. And you can, yeah. Anyway, that was like a big thing I
Big
learned as
eye
well.
opener. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Um.
Is this
I
good?
was.
Does anyone care? Is anyone in chat caring? I don't
Well,
know.
yeah. A lot of people are talking about like politicians and lower class, middle class. Then we went through the American
Oh right. Yeah.
political system a little bit.
Lol.
Milking said that me and you should duo bot lane because I said you got an insane Callista. Um,
Yeah, dude.
I did see you playing Callista in Riot once, actually.
I remember one time you were trying to teach me how to jungle, because I was like some fucking, you know, bronze 5 scrub, and I was like, Gibbs, can you teach me how to jungle? You're like, yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
And you were like on the computer, and like you were talking about it in such a high level way that I honestly couldn't understand what you were like. Do you know what I mean? You were like, it's like you were trying to teach someone who was like plat 5 how to jungle, but I was
Yeah.
like, man, I just want to know when to hit smite. Like that's what I want to
Mm.
know.
I remember, yeah, I was like, hey, look at your mini map, like, look at your lanes, and then you're just like, yeah, but like, should I smite my buff here? And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, wait, we're really at that level, okay, yeah, okay. So you
You're like,
click
"Alright,
over
what's that?
here. No, but I think like, I actually will, even if you, I love Twitch chat, but if you take Twitch chat
Mm.
aside just for a moment, even for me, uh, that was very eye-opening. I had no idea. So, I at least there will be at least one person that leaves here wiser, and that person's me, at the very least. And then of course
Nice
this will
one.
be pushed out later
Nice.
in another format and things like that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, people are gonna rip this up on Twitch and take it out of context and
Yeah,
be like,
they're gonna be like, oh
"Hingers
my
is-
god, Hingers is
yeah,
accepting foreign
Hingers a
policies
socialist
and
or
money.
something," or-
um, Did you? So I guess a lot of things I was gonna ask you, we kind of rambled on and we kind of hit,
Oh, cool.
which is good. But I was gonna ask you, do you think, honest question, and you
Mm,
probably know because you probably have the stats behind it.
mm,
And then we'll answer Gauss's. I think it's Gauss. We'll answer his question after this.
yeah.
Do you think that this political run and all of those kind of eye-opening things aside, but do you think that's
Yeah.
helped your comedic career now?
I
Not
think
really.
so.
Yes,
No, I think so.
maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Like it's me. I think it raised my profile. I think a lot of people saw it.
Mm.
Like on like raw numbers. Like I think I've got like 3,000 extra Twitter followers out of it,
Yeah. Have you
which
had a show
I
since?
didn't expect. No, I've done like little spots here and there, and
Yeah.
people want me to talk about the politics stuff, like the Senate run, in my stand-up, but
Uh-huh.
like I haven't really figured out how to do it. Like I've just been talking with you for like 20 minutes. It's not particularly funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Well,
like
yeah,
gotta work out how to do jokes and
I was
stuff
gonna
before
ask
I
you
do
as
the
well,
stand-up.
like, this political campaign surely is giving you material, right? You could probably do a whole skit on
Yeah.
it, right?
I
Almost.
think I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean I think that'll be maybe the next show or something. We'll have like a bunch of stuff about this in it. But I
Mm.
haven't like I'm still working out what's funny about it. It's like it's pretty funny how far it got. Like it's
Yeah. And I mean, like
yeah.
the comparison. The funny part is the comparisons between you and the actual politicians,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah. So
Because they come out and they pretend they know everything, and they don't, but they don't, and
yeah.
they lie to you and whatever. And I'm just there being like, yeah, man, like I don't know, like whatever. And it's like I think people. It's funny how many people like got in touch with me to be like, lol, you're an idiot, but this is so cool. Like people are like, you're so dumb, but like honestly, you've got my vote. Like that was pretty funny.
Yeah, all the like the videos from all the other comedians or like public figures like
Yeah,
of
yeah,
support.
yeah,
That was real cool to see. So yeah, Gals asked not to take
yeah.
away from the political discussion, but I'd like to
Sure.
know what it was like working with Good Game and the ABC.
Oh, personally, I loved it. I had a really great time there. I
Alternatively, the fans actually hate you. I'm
some of them do. Some of them do. I mean, like that's the whole thing though. Like you're in the public eye, Jubes. Like
Yeah.
you know what it's like. There's sometimes Twitch chat's mad at you
Oh, everyone
for
hates me.
whatever reason. Sometimes people just like tweet shit at you for whatever reason, and like you can't take that. You can't hold that with you.
Hmm.
Like for example, if I put a video up, like this was a big thing from Good Game, right? I put a video up, and there'd be like, let's say it gets like 100 comments, right? And 99 of them are like, lol, this is cool or whatever, or like, yeah, I love Good Game, whatever. And then one person's like, kill yourself, cunt, or whatever, or whatever, like that's one person, but that's
Yeah.
the like naturally what you're gonna your brain just focuses on that one negative one because that's just how the brain is, right?
Yeah.
It's like you ignore the because these ones are all the same. They're all saying like, oh, this is cool, so you ignore all them. You look at the one that's different, which is one person being like, shut up, you're an idiot, I hate you, whatever,
Hmm.
you know and yeah, so like that's gonna happen, whatever. But in terms of specifically working at Good Game, that was a really it was really hard sometimes because um, that show it runs on such a small. Well, I mean it's cancelled now, so but when it was on air, it ran on such a small budget because it's the ABC, and you're
Yeah.
dealing with stuff that's like is high budget. Like video games is like high budget stuff, right? Like if you want to play the latest video games on high settings and stuff, you need a computer that's gonna be like probably $3,000 or $4,000 kind of
You
thing.
need
We
a
couldn't
sick
afford it.
rig that overclocks.
Yeah, exactly right. We didn't have, but it's the ABC. We didn't have money to do that.
Yeah.
like,
Right.
you know, and so and or like you want to make good television, you need like nice cameras and nice lights and stuff. And it's like we had to like we had to shoot a lot of stuff just like in our office, which kind of is charming to some people, but like if you want to be a professional, kind of sucks that you've got to ask everyone in the office to be quiet so you can record your
Mm.
bits for TV.
Mm.
Or like even working at the ABC, it's like I would have to record my little segments at like 7:30 in the morning because there's only two big studios in the ABC, and they would always be booked from like 8:30 till 6 p.m. like by other shows. So if I wanted to record anything, I had to do it at 7:30 in the morning. So like yeah, there's like annoying stuff like that working at Good Game, but at the same time, it's like man, what a fucking dream job! Like
Mm.
I get to play video games with like some cool people like Steph and Barjo and Goose and everyone and Rad, like people I genuinely care about and think are really cool people. Nick, obviously. Um, yeah, it was a like. Of course, there are difficulties. Of course, it's hard. But like, man, it was the dream. You get to play video games for a living. Are you kidding me? It's the fucking best.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Um. Yeah. So, what's next for you then? What is next? What is next for Michael
Um.
Hingers Heen?
What am I doing next? I am. I just finished another documentary. I made a documentary last year called "Where Are You Really From?" It's like an SBS documentary. Where me and a few other me and well, just me, I guess. I go around the country talking to um like I guess like regional communities, like living outside of the big cities, like what you might think of as migrant communities.
Yep.
So like last year I talked to like there's a bunch of Chinese people living in Bendigo and some Sudanese people living in Toowoomba
Mm.
and some like there's a community on the north coast of New South Wales, and they're all like Punjabi Indian Sikhs,
Mhm.
like they've got turbans and beards and stuff, but they've been in Australia as a community for like 100 years,
Oh wow.
and so they all like have my accent, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and so like obviously as someone who looks Chinese but sounds like I do, I'm normalized to this. But at the same time, going to this town full of like very Indian looking people, but they're like, "G'day, mate, how's it going?" That was like a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
Like you see people in turbans surfing and stuff. That's cool.
Well, like,
Anyway,
oh yeah,
so
sorry.
series two of that. Oh, so I was gonna say, so series two of that's coming out. And
Yeah.
so in series two, there's like Italians in Far North Queensland who I spoke to have been here for 100 years.
Yep.
Germans in Barossa in South Australia. There's a Malay Muslim group in Katanning in Western Australia, and then there's an Assyrian refugee community, or an Assyrian community with a huge refugee influx in a place called Fairfield in the west of Sydney. And so that's coming out in like July. So that's the next big thing.
Nice. Yeah. So actually, the fun fact is, when my family came here, as in my dad's side, the
Yeah.
Italian side, they
Yeah.
were all in Mildura, Swan Hill, kind of way.
Oh,
And then
really?
we all had like they all lived on a farm, and like all the cousins, my dad cousins, and them, they'd all live there, and they'd all, I don't know what they grew on the farm, but like yeah, it's funny how like I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of
Yeah.
communities when they came here, they started like far out
In the
in like the
region.
farming
Yeah.
areas and things like that, and
'Cause
partly
that's where the
because
work was.
well yeah, and partly
Yeah.
because like too back in when they were in Italy, like where I'm from, it's like a real like farm village heavy kind
Yeah.
of place.
Right.
But yeah, it's like it really reminded me when I saw your series and the documentary. It really reminded me of like where like kind of my dad's family came from when they first
Yeah,
came here.
bro. Well, hey, I think it's coming out in July. There's an episode all about Italian. So
Ah,
tell your fam to watch,
that's
dude.
a
Tell your
spicy
dad to
meatball.
watch.
um,
Actually, just a quick anecdote on this.
oh, I think his computer has crashed. This is some really unfortunate timing, but I think he may his computer's crashed. Oh no. Oh no. He's overheated. He's overheated. Now, I don't know much about Michael's computer, so I'm not sure if he will be back anytime soon, or if it needs time to cool down and then he can jump back on. I'm actually not sure. Uh like I said to you guys, man, this conversation was gonna be real hot, real spicy. It's gonna get down to the real points. Um Actually, he just messaged me and said he's gonna get on his laptop, so we'll finish it on his laptop. There was only a few more things to talk about. He's giving me his quick other point, and then we'll finish it off. Uh, Overheating into actually, Hingers has a really good PC. I just don't know if his parts are all optimized. Um, but yeah, overheating in this weather, I don't know unless just undervolt your CPU juice. I don't know what that means. His thermal paste is probably old. Maybe that's it. Maybe we can help old mate out. Uh, so five.
Sorry.
Hello. Hey. There we
Sorry.
are.
What a fucking nightmare. Sorry,
That's alright.
my Bitcoin farming computer fucking cut itself.
Your webcam is.
Yeah, it's different because I'm just on an iPad now.
Yeah, it's not, but it's the webcam's not loading.
Right now, is it?
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
Sorry,
awesome.
dudes.
That's alright.
We're talking about the doco. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, watch the doco if you can. Please.
Yep. You had an anecdote for me.
Oh yeah, it was very quick. So it's like funny how like I think of Italian culture as being like probably like one of the most identifiable and like strongest cultures. Like it's like you think of like all the Italian stuff. It's like the Roman Empire. It's like pasta. It's like
yeah,
fucking Mario and Luigi. Whatever.
The Colosseum.
Yeah, right. But this Italian community I was talking to, they're all in Far North Queensland. And so like Italian culture is like pretty strong, but like nothing is stronger than country Queensland do. So like they put on a ballet for us at this thing when we went there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of people like watching this Italian opera ballet. There's like people singing Italian. There's people dancing and stuff. But then because it's in country Queensland, there's like dudes in like bintang singlets, like drinking Bundy rums while they're watching the ballet, being like, fucking sick pirouette, bro. Like,
yeah, this is awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, so it was pretty funny and cool.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I just wanted to ask you about your just a quick one. Do you still play League of Legends? Do you want to get back into League of Legends or esports, or not even League of Legends, just esports? And what's going on with you in that space, or not really, not at the moment?
No, yeah, like I think I was saying before, like I would love to do more stuff with Riot, and maybe not on like a regular basis.
Yeah, not a
like
full-time level, but an appearance level.
Like I got other stuff to do, but like
Yeah.
just hanging out and on occasion doing stuff with like Riot or Blizzard or throw down like those guys. That's always really fun and cool.
I might get my personal assistant to message your personal assistant to message your accountant, and maybe there's a way that we can incorporate you into some things that we do. Who knows? Maybe there's your way back into things.
Hey man, I love it. I still play a bit of League. I play with like Shuey and Spawn and Egym and stuff. Like not very often. Maybe like a couple of games a week here and there.
Maybe I'll add you. And we'll fire up a game or two.
I think I'm friends with you, aren't you? Like Solo Q Goblin, or did you delete?
I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you off air.
I shouldn't have added your name. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna say your name, but I think I remember your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I had to put a note to it. You're like, don't tell anyone, because then I still get like good game threats. You still get good.
Really don't like Hingers. Yeah, no. So I play a bit. It's one of those things, right? So before I started working in the OPL, I played maybe maybe I'd just gotten to level 30 or something like that. Like I hadn't played much at all, and then I realized that when people like you or Egym or Spawn or Rusty or Fish or whatever, or like Franco or Raz, whenever I would try and play with you guys, it was so different to what I was capable of doing that it actually made the game. My understanding of the game was like very bad because I didn't have any fundamentals.
Yep.
But I would know really complex stuff that I didn't have the mechanics to execute because I hadn't been playing the game very long.
Yeah.
So about really specific stuff that like pros would do. I would know that a lot because I did the show, but I wouldn't know fucking anything about like how a bronze scrub should actually win a game, right?
Yeah. And you'd be trying to implement that.
Oh man, like an idiot. And so it wasn't until and then that year I was doing the OPL, I was so busy like doing stand up and doing the TV stuff, and that I just didn't actually have a lot of time to play. I'd play like maybe like 4 or 5 games a week, but mostly I'd play with like really like professional players and like casters and stuff.
Yeah.
And like it would just be infuriating for them because they'd be like, "Why am I playing this moron?" Which is like fun, right? And they were very nice about it. To be clear, they were very funny and cool about it. But it meant that first year I was playing a lot. I didn't actually learn heaps, and it wasn't until I stopped working at the OPL regularly. So this would be like probably 18 months ago now. That I started playing and like watching, having more time to watch proper streams and like learn more. And now like I'm like all right. I mean, not all right. I'm still terrible, but like now at least I understand what I'm doing.
In relation to where you were, you're all right.
Oh man, I'm smashed now. Yeah. So I mean, I still play a fair bit, but not as much as I would like. And I would love to do more esports stuff. It's the best.
And so this is the part where I'm gonna let you plug yourself. If you have anything that needs plugging, like any comedy shows coming up, you plugged your documentary already that's coming out soon. Anything else that you wanna? Because what I'm doing right now is I'm saying Hingers has a website. I don't know how active you're on that website, michaelhing.com. I did my research. And then I put your Twitter there as well, so everyone can follow Hingers on Twitter. Follow Hingers on michaelhing.com.
Yeah, on Facebook and Twitter, that's where it all is. My little videos that I put up for the feed on SBS, like little comedy videos about like, I don't know, Australian politics or life or whatever, or just
Was
like
it SBS?
No, just go on Facebook to SBS. The feed SBS Viceland is what it's called.
Alright,
feed
cool.
SBS Viceland, or just like my Facebook page is just like Michael Hing. But yeah, check that shit out. It's cool.
Yeah, it definitely is cool. I watch all your videos that go on there.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I'm a supporter in the background. I'm in the shadows. I'm that guy that would be like, I'd throw the yellow pages on the stage on your comedy and say, "There's better content in there." You know?
No, but it's like your whole family's always been very supportive of me. Juice.
Yeah, well, my mum's gonna buy a shirt now. I think she's got the Hingers mug as well, actually.
I love Debs.
I
love Debs.
And then you actually offered us free tickets, but I think we purchased them just to support you as well.
Yeah, you were very kind. You were very kind.
So I actually technically somewhat own you a little bit.
You do.
I'm paying you a salary.
You own a share. You own a share of my of my artistic endeavors, Jubes.
Yeah.
You've been a kind patron of my art.
All we've got to do is I'll tell you what, I'm getting a little bit in. I'm diving into stand up. I'm gonna do a few stand up courses, and then when I'm ready, I reckon we hit up a duo session.
Man, I would fucking love that. I'll book a little theater. It'll just be you and me talking shit and hanging out, and yeah, it'll be great.
We'd get a few laughs, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'll stack it. We'll stack it with OPL fans.
Yeah.
We'll stack it with Gravitas fans. We'll stack it with a lot of
And then Hingers, at the end of the day, if they didn't laugh, if they didn't laugh and they bought and like say we sold a couple tickets and then you know what, it turns out it's a shipwreck and they didn't laugh, we can always walk out.
Yeah, exactly. We leave. We still got that cash money.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
No refund. That's our policy.
Yes, you come. That's it. That's the end of it. You know what? We may not even turn up, but that's the risk you run when you're coming to our show. Again, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on. I know you're really busy and stuff like that. Again, this will be across also all social medias. We'll put if any of you guys have any friends that missed it and want to watch it or want to follow Hingers, you know where to go. The show will be out there for everyone to watch. Again, as always, Hingers, I love when I get to talk to you. I just don't get to talk to you as much as I want to. But hey, at the end of the day, I appreciate it, and thanks again, my man.
Thanks, Jubes. All right, I'll chat to you guys later. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.